Hi, come on in. Come on. You know you've been waiting for this, so come on in. Uh-oh. Hopefully my earrings aren't going to glare the entire time. I'll try to keep them from out of the light. As expected, I have part one, tricks and tips for shopping at Temu. In other words, shopping strategies. All right, so this is part one. If you're coming back to my channel, thank you for returning. If you've never been here before, boy, did you pick the right time to come. My name is Connie, and you've just entered my little corner, well, my alternate corner. Last night we had some major thunderstorms. Today we had more rain. Absolutely loving it because we needed it. But the sole purpose of this video today is to get everybody started on the Temu tips and tricks and your shopping strategies so that you can really shop like a billionaire. That's their motto, right? Shop like a billionaire. If you've been following my channel, then you know I'm very good at shopping to find good bargains, to find things that will get me price adjustments, find ways to get credits, getting an entire huge order. What was it? 23 items, all for free. There's a lot about Temu that we have to cover, but we have to start somewhere. So this is Labor Day weekend. Today is September 1st. It's Friday. And I am going to do my best to get you started because right now Temu has so many marvelous sales going on this weekend. If you're new to Temu, down below, all right, and this is important, down below in the description box is my link. It'll take you directly to Temu so you don't go to any fraudulent sites. It will take you directly to Temu so that you can download the app to your phone. And then my code, which is AFC 95851, will get you 50% off your first order. So if you're not new to Temu, by all means, share this video, give everybody a heads up because this is the weekend. If you haven't joined Temu yet, this is a great time to do it because not only their sales, 50% off using my code for first-time people. If they haven't ever downloaded the app before, this is a time to really shop like gazillionaire. All right, money doesn't matter. That's what it comes down to. All right, we're going to get started on part one. Hold on. Yeah. All right, I'm going to be doing a lot of that. I will try not to go too fast. You will have screenshots on either side that I will be putting up, and hopefully I'll leave them up there long enough for you to actually read what they say or get a good look at them. So let's get started. First off, the most important thing, everything you do on Temu must be done with patience. Temu is not the place to quickly scroll through everything they offer and just click, 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 buy, 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 buy. Temu has way too much to offer, too many options, thousands of vendors, all right? And some of those vendors are selling the exact same items as another one might be selling. So you have to be patient in everything you do. You have to be patient in your search. You have to be patient in waiting to check out sometimes. You have to be patient in waiting for an item to come back into stock or for an item to come down to the price that you're willing to pay. All right. So patience is very important. Like everything else you do, in order to succeed and save your money but still get the products you want, it all starts with patience. The prices that you're going to see on Temu are based on supply and demand, just like every other product out there. We all know how gas prices right before holiday weekend go up because gas stations know they can get that extra cost. They know that people are going to want to travel and they don't care. They'll spend the money to put gas in the car, so up go the prices. Same thing with department stores. If you go into a department store to shop, the prices are going to be higher before the holiday. So when the holiday comes, they can say, oh, big sale, and they drop their prices down to where they should be. This is all supply and demand, all right? Your choices when you purchase items on Temu, how you shop and what you choose to pay for your item directly affects supply and demand. So let's say you're looking for an item and it's 47 cents with one vendor and maybe it's 49 cents with another vendor. Well, okay. Hopefully you're going to go with the lower price vendor. If it's the exact same item, but it's a different vendor, yes, we don't want to spend as much. We want to go with that lower priced item. Another way that supply and demand affects how you shop on Temu is, let's say you find a blouse you really like when I found this Temu blouse. All right. I went in, clicked on the link, looked at all the information, scrolled through all the pictures. What I noticed that was this particular vendor was offering several different blouses, all at different prices. It was basically the same blouse, but with a different pattern. More patterns, some patterns are more popular than others. So you'll notice that there's a higher price attached to that particular pattern. But if you click on each different item, on each different picture in the list, you can see the prices change. The higher priced items, the higher priced items are the more popular items. That vendor keeps those prices up because he knows people will pay. For example, if you want a hot pink watch band as opposed to a baby pink watch band, the hot pink watch band could cost you 30, 40, or even 50 cents more, maybe even more than that, than a different color, because the other colors are not as popular. The vendor can't get the asking price. Those are the items that they reduce the prices on. So when you turn around and you buy that higher priced watch band, as opposed to buying the one that maybe is only $1.29, maybe you buy the one that's $2.39, even though they're from the same vendor, you just want that different color. You just added to supply and demand. You just added to allowing that vendor to keep the price because you're willing to pay the higher price. Make sense, right? If something is not selling really good, what happens? It goes on sale. They lower the prices. If something's not popular, maybe it's the color, maybe it's the style, right? It's going to have a lower price. So there could be two identical watch bands. There could even be two vendors selling the same identical item. But for some odd reason, even though it's the same one, another vendor is getting more and selling more at a higher price. And this other poor little guy over here, all right, he's got the exact same item at a lower price, but it's not selling. Paying more does not mean it's better. If it's the same item, then it's the same item. That's when you need to put your own dent in the supply and demand theory, all right? And you need to upset that algorithm by choosing the item that's of a lower price. When the dude over here all of a sudden is not selling as many because his price is higher, he'll drop the price. And if you did buy one at the higher price, you may actually see a price adjustment. All right. So supply and demand affects everything. Every vendor on Temu makes their own choices as to what their prices are going to be. All right. Temu does not dictate to the vendors that they have to sell it for a certain amount or they have to have a certain quantity available. The vendor will determine, based on supply and demand of their product, right, how much they think they can get for it. If we, no pun intended, but if we buy into that philosophy, then we're going to be paying a higher price for something that we can get at a lower price. And by paying that higher price, we're upsetting the balance of price of supply and demand. All right. The supply is there. They can demand the higher prices. If we don't want to pay those higher prices, just like boycotting a gas station. If gas prices are too high, years ago, all right, when I was in my 20s and 30s, we boycotted the big like mobile stations and whatnot. And guess what? They dropped their price because they weren't selling anything. The same applies to Temu. So keep that in the back of your head when you're shopping. Is what you're looking for available at a lower price by a different vendor? All right, because if it's an identical item, this should be a no-brainer. You're going to go for the lower price, number one, to save you the money. All right, and number two, not to help those prices go up on Temu. The more a vendor sells of a certain item, the higher price is going to go. And some people will complain about the higher price, but they don't realize that it's the consumers, it's those of us that are shopping on Temu that are driving those higher prices because we're paying them. I, for one, will not pay. I will wait for an item to go down in price. If I really want an item, and I'm not saying you should deny yourself any item, but if I really want an item, I'll put it in my cart and I'll let it sit there for a day or two and I'll think about it. Do I really want it? And I'll watch the price. Has the price gone down? Maybe another vendor is selling the exact same item for a lower price. I've been known to swap stuff in and out of my cart on a regular basis to get the lower price. I don't ever, me personally, ever have to have something bad enough that I'm willing to pay the higher price for it. I like to keep a grip on my own spending, and by applying the supply and demand, all right, to everything I do, that helps keep the spending down. So that's the first part of this. All right. These are all different information. So I'm going to talk a lot, but I want you to look at the stuff that I post up here as well. And I'm trying not to talk too fast. You can watch this video 20 times. It's fine by me. I don't mind. And you'll have to excuse me. No hat on today because I'm down to business. And boy, my grays are really showing. That's all right. I'm not getting gray because of Temu. Temu's the only thing that's not making me gray because it's saving me a fortune. All right. The next item. And let's go back and retouch this a little bit. Same item, different vendors. All right. As I said earlier, each vendor will determine what they think is a fair and reasonable price for their item. They might have different strategies that they look at. We have no way of knowing how it is that they're determining it. I only know from having a retail background at one point is that we look at the marketplace and say, okay, what is another store selling these items for? What's the average going price for this type of an item? There always has to be some sort of basic. There's always a logic behind it, but unfortunately it's not up to us to know or have access to, be privy to what the vendor's logic is. And sometimes it is not logical. It just makes no sense whatsoever. So let's say, for example, matter of fact, I did it this morning, and I'll put pictures up. I was looking for an item, and it was the same exact item listed, I believe, for 47 cents. I'm not sure. It'll show up in the picture. But anyway, several different vendors were selling this, and it might only been a penny difference. All right. But a penny is a penny. If it's an identical item, then it doesn't matter who the vendor is. It's the lower price that's going to make you the more savvy shopper. You're going to keep that money in your pocket. And on lower price items, it's not so much to concern yourself as to whether or not you'll get a price adjustment on it. Because you're already getting such a low price. But if you start off with the lower price for that item, then you're automatically going to be saving and you're not going to be contributing to the supply and demand dilemma. All right. So you don't want to get wrapped up in that little whirlpool of, paying more, prices go up. Pay more for this, prices go up. Prices are going up because we're paying more for things when we can get them for less. All right. Where Temu was actually putting a dent in Amazon. I have seen this. I've compared prices for things that Amazon had listed last year before Temu began, and now Amazon is selling them for less because they've got a lot of competition from Temu. So competition also drives the supply and demand. The vendors at Temu are, in a sense, competing with each other to get your business. So they're going to drop their prices. And if they're not the lowest price, but they're low, they're still going to get a piece of the pie. But the ones that are lowest are usually going to get the bigger slice. All right. Because of the fact that they're lower. That vendor is smart because they're selling quantity as opposed to only selling a few. They're selling a lot. So in essence, they're making more money because they're delivering more product to the consumer. All right. Now, let's say we have the same item. It doesn't matter who the vendors are, but let's just say we have two items that are the same, but they come in different colors, like my wrong side. My baseball hats. All right. all these hats, all different colors, all different styles, all different designs, all right? But they're all baseball hats. So let's say plain ones without any bling on them. All right, like the yellow one that you see behind me and the red one that you see here. They don't have any bling on them other than the pins I might have added. There's a lot of vendors out there that sell plain, unadorned baseball caps in different colors. Go into any one of those listings, and as you click through the different colors on the hats, watch the prices change. Some people don't even take the time to do that, and that's important to do. There's a red hat. I love that. Okay. Well, look, there's a yellow one. Wait, why is the yellow one $1.29 and the red one's $1.89? Why is there a 60 cents difference? Because the red is more popular. The vendor knows he can get it. For me, I keep looking for another red hat. Who's got the red baseball hat out there that runs the lowest price but still gives me what I want? So it's important, again, part of supply and demand and keeping prices in check, keeping money into your wallet and being a savvy shopper, using the strategy of, no, I'm not going to pay these higher prices when I can get the same item from a different vendor at a lower cost. All right. That's important. I can't stress that enough. Don't impulse click. All right. It's one thing to impulse buy and throw something into your cart. Don't check out until you've checked out every other option for that item. If you've got money to spend, who am I to say not to spend it? But just keep in mind, when you're paying those higher prices, you may be one of those consumers that is driving the prices up because you're willing to pay more. So when it comes to a case like that, and I just had a neighbor friend of mine say, oh, I don't care that I paid $15 for this and I could have got it for $7. I'm like, really? But I do, because now the price of that item is going to go up because they know they can get more money for it. That doesn't help the consumer. It doesn't help us. Right. So same item, different colors, different designs. Make sure you click through and you check every different color. Find the ones you like. I usually find 3 or 4 designs that I like and like, oh, okay, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. Oh, wait, but this one's lower priced and I like it. So I would rather pay the lower price and get this one. So I'll get this one, but maybe I'll put that one in my cart and see if that price goes down. All right. So we're going to talk about your cart as we go on a little bit further. All right. But right now, comparisons are important. If you go to any store or if you go online, you know how like big stores like Lowe's and Home Depot, they give you a little checkbox that you can mark off to compare this item to similar items. Like if you're buying a dishwasher, you can compare like 3 or 4 items. Unfortunately, Temu doesn't give us a box like that, but you can do that on your own. And the easiest way to do that is by your search terminology and how you search. So what we're going to go into now is a section or a little, I don't know what you want to call it, chapter 2. Oh, okay. Chapter 2, how to search. This is what we're going to cover next, how to search. We all know that Temu has a big search bar, and we all know that they have preset areas that you can click on. You can click on any category that you want. You can type in something and ignore the categories. You can shop using either, but there's different ways to shop that are going to benefit you and make you a more strategic shopper. All right. So the number one way that I search is by what I put into the search box. Now, even if I know I'm looking for women's tops, I won't click on women's tops because the list is enormous, thousands of items, and it's so difficult to narrow it down. You could spend hours scrolling through and not find something that you really want. So you're wasting a lot of time. And then usually what I find is by the time someone finds something they want, they're so frustrated they're either going to pay the higher price or they're not going to buy it at all. So here's some of the tips that I use. Use the search bar to do your searching. Type in your search. Some of the ways that I get the lower prices is by the terminology that I use when I search. I don't get too wordy. I keep it narrowed down. All right, hold on a second. Okay. So one of my most favorite ones is just the word clearance. Not clearance items, not clearance for today, not clearance kitchen, simply the word clearance. All right, put the word clearance in, press search. The next step you're going to do is you're going to tell the computer how you want to see what you've got. So the terminology first, let's go over a few. Clearance, all right. Lightning deals, those are the terms that you might keep it short and sweet, all right. Walmart, because as I've said in previous videos, Walmart supplies a great amount of items to Temu to clear them out. So there actually is a Walmart section where you can get the same identical items that if you walked in the store, but you're going to get them for almost 50% less or more by buying them on Temu. All right. And Walmart knows this, but they want to clear that stuff out. All right. So Walmart, another category is as seen on TV. As seen on TV. All right. You can also search by the item you're looking for. For example, kitchen storage or hanging flower baskets, far sunshades. Keep it simple. If you get too wordy, then you get too big of a collection. You can always change how you search, right? So minimize what you search. And clearance items, or just typing the word clearance, that's always going to start you with the lower priced items. Now, again, remember, lower price does not mean low quantity. Lower priced is usually things the vendors are trying to clear out. For whatever reason, based on supply and demand, these items were not selling. They're either not popular, they're not attractive, they're the wrong colors, or perhaps the vendor just has way too much of a supply and needs to reduce the amount of storage space it's taking in his warehouse. There can be a lot of reasons why prices drop. Usually it's because the item is not selling for whatever reason, or there's an excess of the item. So when you first sort and it brings everything up, then on the right-hand side, you're going to go to the drop-down box. It'll always start with the word relevant. You don't want to use relevant if you're looking for the lower price on item. If you're looking for the bargains, you don't want to use relevant. You want to always open the box, the drop-down, and select the ones that says sort low to high. What that will do is that's going to filter that humongous inventory that just came up, and it's going to start off with a lower price. And that lower price could be 3 cents, 6 cents. Maybe for that particular item, that low price is only like $1.29, and that's the lowest it'll go. But what it does is if you have a budget, which most of us do, they say, well, I don't want to spend more than, $3 for this, or I don't want to spend more than $5 for this. You can scroll down and stop your search when you hit the max of your budget. So all those items that are in your budget are going to come up first. It's always going to bring up the lowest. Now, here's a key, right? Here's another little special tip in here. When that happens, when you sort low to high, you might get multiple vendors. You might see the same item 3, 4, 5, maybe even more times, all at different prices. That's what we were talking about supply and demand. If that particular vendor thinks they can get the price, they're probably going to be the ones with the higher price. But if it's an identical item, tit for tat, everything identical, like say it's a pair of earrings, maybe it's these earrings, okay? And the same vendor has these earrings. One person has them for 38 cents, somebody has them for 58 cents, somebody else might have them for $2. Are you going to pay $2? Well, you know what? If you hadn't sorted low to high, you probably would. Because if you just bring up the category, the first ones that pop up, you go, oh, those earrings are gorgeous and they're only $2. Click, boom. Guess what? You just spent a lot more than what you had to, and you just helped that vendor keep the prices high for everyone else. And no, this is not a guilt trip. I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty about how they shop. I'm just trying to explain to you how everything we do as consumers when we shop affects everybody else, right? There's items I've had to walk away from because I refuse to pay the price for them. All right, so when you sort low to high and you see those multiple vendors that are selling the product, the one with the lowest costs are always going to come up first, right? Always going to come up first. So let's say you have two vendors that have the same item, and maybe it's the same cost. They're both 47 cents for that pair of earrings or that ring or whatever it is. They're both 47 cents. The next thing you're going to look at to figure out who you should buy from, and I know this is very analytical, but y'all wanted to know how I save so much money and how I get so many credits. This is how I do it. It's nothing to take a quick glance. If you look on the image, you'll see it'll show you how many are in people's carts. It'll also show you if it might scroll up in red and say almost gone, or this is in 699 carts type of thing, or how many have already sold, right? You're going to see these listings side by side, so just take a quick glance side by side, like, whoa, okay, this one is the same price, but he sold 800 of them and he's only sold 600 of them. All right, this is in so many carts and that's in so many carts. You have to figure out which one you're going to buy from. And in the case where it comes down to most popular versus least popular, all right, it's not about which vendor, it's about which price. All right, so if someone has a lot in their carts, like one vendor, let's say Joe Smith, has 999 in people's carts and he sold 1,500 of these things and they're 47 cents. But Mr. Miller over here only has 100 and something in the carts and he's only sold 500 and something of them. What that tells me is that it's not the quality of the item, it's the quality of the vendor and the vendor's practices that are attractive. So if I see a vendor who is selling more, they're in more carts, they've actually sold a lot more than another vendor, even though it's the same price. Usually when I go in and look at that item, I'm going to find good reviews. All right. So it's important to figure out which one to hone in on. The one that maybe hasn't sold as many might not have as good reviews. They may have terrible customer service practices. They might never be willing to give a refund or an exchange. There might be reviews in there. So when it comes down to the same price for the same item, I always check the vendor because I want to know if anything goes wrong with my purchase, are they going to stand behind the product that they just sold me? So that's where the vendor comes in handy. And that's also where you can, in a sense, save money. Because if, say, the item comes and one of the posts on the back is broken, is that vendor going to give me a refund? It's not Temu giving me the refund. All right. It's the vendor and their agreement with Temu that under certain circumstances, they will credit or refund for a damaged item or multiple reasons that you might not want to keep that item or might not be able to use it. So all of this ties in together. So least popular versus most popular and the related prices, all right, that you're getting from one to the next, just because it might be a different color or a different pattern, having different costs. Those are things to look on. Again, click on each item choice to see how the price changes so that you're more aware of what's going on so that you can shop smarter. And you can say, well, gee, I really love these two, but this one is $3 less than that one. So I don't know the product. I've never had this before. I don't even know if I'm going to like it. So let me order the one that's lower cost. Is any of this making sense? I hope it does. I hope this is making sense to you. Typically, higher priced items are the most popular. So choosing that items or those items will continue to drive prices up. Again, and there's also less of a chance of an adjustment. That's another key thing that I look at. When the prices are higher and the vendor is getting those higher prices, because he's getting those higher prices, odds are he may not drop the price. And if he does, it's not going to be a lot. It might be 10 cents, 1 cent, 3 cents, whatever. It's not going to be a big adjustment. All right. However, on an item that's less popular, that has a lower price, and if he continues not to sell too many of these items, odds are that he's going to do another price adjustment and lower the price even more. I know that sounds a little backwards, but it really isn't. In other words, it all comes down to if they can get the price they're asking, why should they lower the price? If they can't sell an item and they're barely selling anything, even at the reduced price, they need to bump it down again. They need to increase it from like a 10% sale to a 20% discount or a 30% discount. That's retail. That's how it works. And the longer something sits without selling or you don't sell enough, drop the price again, all right? Or drop the price really low and clear those items out. Get rid of them. So hopefully you're kind of getting the drift as to where I'm going, all right? The next thing to look at when you're choosing something is the reviews. Always make sure, all right, in being a savvy shopper, make sure you look at the reviews. Scroll down, read. I usually read at least the top like 5 or 6, and you can just scan them really quickly to see if they're good, bad, or indifferent. Watch out for the ones that say, oh, well, this is a great item, but I haven't used it yet. Don't put any stock in that. If they haven't used it yet, how do they know it's a great item? It always gets me. It always cracks me up when I see that. On Temu, no one has to ever leave a review if they're not ready, if they haven't done the product yet. They don't have to leave a review. Temu gives us all options of either reviewing our entire order or just reviewing an item at a time. And I will never even review an entire order until I've been through the entire order, used it, put it into practice, worn it, whatever the case may be. Then I'll go back and review it. I did over 400 reviews yesterday because I had to catch up. But anyway, make sure you look at the reviews. And they don't have to be fancy ones. They don't have to have a picture. Just make sure that they're giving you what you want to know about the product. Does it work? Did it come in good condition? Is it as described? All right, all the important things. Was it worth the money? All right, if somebody says not worth it, then that right off the bat, even if it's just once, that's a red flag. It makes me look at the item and the description a little bit closer. So make sure you read the reviews. All right. The other thing is make sure that when you are looking at an item, you scroll through every single picture the vendor has provided so that you can make an informed decision. Is this the right size? What are the dimensions on this? How is it made? Does it look like it's quality? Does it look like it came out of the 5 and dime store? Did it come out of a bubblegum machine? Really, really look at the pictures. If it's something that has a size, look at the measurements. Look at the size chart. Just don't say, oh, gee, I wear a size 12. The size 12 in China and the size 12 in US are two different things. The size 12 for someone in China is equivalent to a size 16 in the US. So make sure you look at the size chart. If you don't look at the size chart and something comes and it's way too small for you, guess what? That's your bad, but Temu would still work with you based on the vendor's instructions to either give you a credit or let you return the item. All right. So these are all things that make you a savvy shopper. And when you're a more savvy shopper, when you're actually comparing prices and comparing vendors, think of it like grocery shopping. Am I going to buy a roll of toilet paper for 40 cents simply because it's a name brand when I can get just as nice roll, when I can get like 3 rolls for 40 cents without having to pay for the name brand? All right. So, I mean, I could do a lot of analogies, but I think you guys are smart enough to get it. I really think you guys are getting it. Okay. Now, there's other ways to be a smart shopper. One of them is once you download the app, Temu is going to start sending you texts, and some of these are great, so don't get mad at them. I know they can be frustrating, but boy, I'm telling you, I did a $40 order today, and I only ended up paying $22 for it because Temu had sent me daily boxes. You click on the box, right? And when you click on the box, it offers you either discounted prices or a coupon bundle. but it always offers you a 2-cent credit. You have to look right above where it says claim, the bar that says claim. All right. So you open the text, you click on the link, you'll see this nice little yellow and orange birthday box. It looks like present. And you just click on claim. You'll get 3 boxes and 1 extra box when you click the check-in button over on the right. But as you claim each box, it'll be a little tiny print that'll say plus 2-cent credit. Claim. Make sure you hit claim. You don't have to buy anything off of that. It'll say, oh, everything is 99 cents, or everything is under $1.99, or everything is 30% off. You don't have to go shopping right then and there. Claim your 2 cents, hit the back browser, go back, get your next present. All right. Again, it'll give you another 2 cents. This will happen 3 times. Don't shop, because you won't ever lose that. Okay. That's the thing they try to trick people into. You can search for anything that's under $1.99, anything under $3. It's not special. All right. You're not going to lose that because Temu offers that to everybody, even if you're not clicking on the boxes. But get the 2-cent credit. So you'll do it 3 times. You'll click, that'll give you 6 cents credit, which will show up under your account where it says credit balance. All right. Then over on the right-hand side, it'll say check in. So it'll bring you to another page. You click the check in, it'll say come back tomorrow, right? But when you go back, it'll give you a 4th box. And it'll give you another 1 cent or 2 cents. You don't have to shop on those, all right? The other thing that Temu is going to send you is they're going to send you coupon bundles or specials where they'll say, just for you, you spin the wheel, it goes around the little box, always lands on 35%, and then it always doubles to 70% off. Then it will give you a choice of items, and it will give you a lot, okay, and every type of item. It will always start with their algorithm based on your searches. So you might have to flip through it pretty quick to get past what you've already looked at. But make sure, if you want to save, this is one of the ways that I save. When that comes up and you get 1 item for 70% off, I know that doesn't sound great, right? But wait, it gets better. All right. You go in, you find your item. You scroll down, you say, You click on where it says use discount. It'll show you the item. And then it'll say confirm. All right. You can click on confirm. It's okay. You haven't ordered it yet. Then it'll bring it up saying, oh, we've increased your discount. And it takes it down to like 90% off. And it might bring your item from like $8 down to like $3. All right. This is when, before you click confirm again and choose that item, this is where it's up to you to decide, wow, did they drop this price far enough that, okay, I'm willing to pay that price for this item? All right. If you are, then by all means, click on it. If not, use the little X up in the corner, X out of that page, and it'll take you back where you can keep looking for more. And if you don't ever find anything in there that you want to, then don't. Don't buy anything, even though you know it'll drop lower than the 70% that it's telling you. Don't. If you don't have the money to spend or you don't want to spend, because when you select that item, the one catch they get you on is you will have anywhere from 1 hour to 24 hours to check out your cart with that item in it. Now, lately, the ones that I've been picking, I've been getting, they say you have 24 hours to claim this item. All right. But in some of them, when they're really, really expensive items and they're really, really low, they will tell you, and you'll see it in your cart next to the item. It'll have that little timer, that little red clock timer that'll show you how long before that offer expires. Then it's up to you to decide, do you want to follow through with that order? Right? You're not heavily impacting supply and demand during these times with these specials. All right. Because these are not out there for everybody. All right. Yes, everybody will get it, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to pick the same exact item every single time. There's so many items, it's random. All right. So that randomness alone is going to have very little impact on the supply and demand. But the fact that it's sold for so much less, is going to let that vendor know that they will probably sell more of that product if they drop their prices. The vendors get the reports because they're the ones that say, okay, I'll let you sell so many of my products at this for a special. They arrange all that with Temu. That's all in their agreement. All right. So I know I've just put a lot out there and a lot into your heads. So daily boxes, watch for the coupon bundles. You can claim all of them without any obligation to shop. Coupons do have expiration dates, but if you go into your account and you look under coupons, you'll show you what you have. In other words, I had 4 of them in there today. I had like $100 bundle, but one of the coupons was $15 off a $40 order. I had a $41 order in my cart already. I checked my coupons, $15 off, brought it down to 26, and I had $6 and change of credits sitting there. So my whole order with tax came out to be like $21. So basically I got 50% off the entire thing. And I'm like, yes! And you'll get like that too. When you find out that you're saving on things, you will get that way too. Right? So daily boxes, make sure you go in and get them. Coupon bundles, make sure you latch on to them. Again, no obligation to shop, but boy, will they help you if you want to spend a little bit more. Just a couple more things. Now, waiting to check out. All right. The main thing is make sure in order to get free shipping, because right now Temu doesn't want to ship anything unless you spend $10. They'll say, oh, your order's under $10 and you have to do a $10 order. But the minute you do, you're going to get that free shipping. All right. So that's the minimum order. But again, check your prices. All right. To make sure you have exactly what you want in your cart at the price you're willing to pay. If you have something in your cart and you know what, I really like this, but maybe I can find it someplace else cheaper. Well, look again. Go do another search. Take the name or the description of that item, put it in the search bar, see what it brings up. The price may have dropped. If the price went down since you put it in your cart, your price in your cart's going to go down. All right. Whatever's in your cart is going to go up or down based on what the vendor does until you pay for that item. So if you put something in your cart that's a special for $1.50 and you haven't checked out yet and all of a sudden the special ends at like 6 p.m. tonight and now it's $9, you're going to see that it's $9 in your cart. So it's very, very important. You check your prices in your cart before you check out. And then if that happens, go back and find the item, all right, at a better price, right? Or uncheck it. The radio button you can click on to where it will uncheck it. It'll keep it in your cart, but it won't be checked out when you hit that submit to check out. You have the option with every item to either leave it in your cart, delete it from your cart, or include it in your order and check out. All right. So don't feel that because it's in your cart, you're obligated and that now you have to buy it. Unclicking it will leave it in your cart. So when you cash out, everything that you're paying for disappears from your cart and the stuff that you've unclicked remains in your cart so that you can continue to look for cheaper prices. All right. You're not obligated. Everything gets price changes. Not everything goes up. Not everything goes way down. But I have yet to find anything, and I have done, I hate to say it, over 100 orders, and I have ordered over 900 items from Temu. And I'm not even talking about the sponsored videos. Forget about those. I'm talking what I paid for out of my pocket. All right. All these items is something that I have been shopping this way. My order with, as I say, today was a good example. I ended up only paying half price for what my order started out in my cart because of the strategies that I applied by a mixture of credits, coupons, shopping for the lowest prices, using the best vendors. Again, it's a combination. Think of it as a puzzle. And if you don't have all the pieces in place, you're not going to succeed with finishing your puzzle. And finishing the puzzle is checking out with the least amount out of your pocket, but getting what you want and getting the best values. All right. There is a risk of an item selling out before you check out your cart, but that's okay. Just go back to the item and put notify me on. All right. Because if it sells out, Temu will move it out of your cart and down to the bottom where you can see that it's sold out and it won't be in your cart. It'll just sit there until it comes back into stock. And then they'll email you that it's back. So don't panic. Don't say, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose it. I mean, it's a great deal, blah, blah, blah. But now it's out of stock. I waited too long. No such thing as waiting too long. You waited for the best opportunity. You didn't cash it out when it was hot selling and possibly priced even higher. All right. So don't worry about things not being available when it comes time for you to submit your order and check out. Now, the last thing I want to go over in this video, because we're getting a little lengthy here, and I'm sure I have scrambled your brains by now, so I am going to suggest that you watch the video 2 or 3 times if you need to, pause it, write something down, pause it, write something down, whatever the case may be, whatever you need to do so that these strategies kind of get into your head, all right? Another big part of the strategies is also always keep a mindful eye out for all the different sales. You know, they did the back to school sale. They had the 4th of July sale. They had the Mother's Day sale, the Father's Day sale, the Memorial Day sale. Well, now this weekend there's a Labor Day sale. There's always good times like the Labor Day sale or this weekend. This is the time to buy larger items that have come down in price simply because it's a Labor Day weekend sale. When I did my order, these are things that had been in my cart at higher prices. All right. And the prices came down drastically simply because of this weekend. And I said, okay, now it's the time to order. I had over 130 some odd dollars worth of items in my cart this morning. But because of the sales, because of my coupons, because of my credits, I paid $21 and change. All right. That kind of speaks for itself. All right. So the last thing that I want you guys to know is about your credits. As you may know, all right, when you go in and you get your price adjustments, and we'll talk about those in another video, but when you get your credits, even if it's the 2 cents, or 8 cents you get every day from your daily boxes, or if you just earn credits different ways, when you have credits, Temu's automatically going to apply as many of those credits that will fit on the order that you're completing, the one that you're submitting at that time to check out. If you have $10 worth of credits and your order is $10.02, they're going to apply the whole $10. You may not want that. You may have something in mind that you want to save some credits for. You can go to your order where it shows the amount of credits and you can edit it. All right. You can reduce that to whatever amount you want applied to your order. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people will take all their credits and put it on an order so that they get the lowest cost. But then when they go back to shopping, they have no credits left to use. Figure out your budget. Figure out how much of your credits is going to help you reduce your out-of-pocket expense. But if you wanted to, but leave some credit left over for the next time that you order. You don't know. You may get something in your order that's broken, doesn't fit, doesn't work. You contact Temu, you go online, and you do the refund return request, and they say, okay, we're going to refund you the whole amount, but you can keep the item. You don't have to send it back. Well, maybe that was an $8 item. So now you've got $8 and change sitting in your account. Do you want to use it all? Do you want to only use part of it? All right. Maybe you only have a $10 order or maybe a $12 order. Do you want to use the whole $8? Or do you just want to knock your order down so it's with tax and whatnot, so it stays under $10 and keep your budget? So based on what your budget is, you can choose if you want all the credit used or as much as necessary to cover the order, like I did with my order of 23 items. I had so much credit that I applied the entire order value, was like $36 and something. I didn't even use all my credits. I just used $36 worth of my credits so that I had a zero balance order. And you all saw that in my video. And in the link attached to my video, you all saw my credits being applied and my balance being zero. All right. This is what I refer to as being a really savvy shopper, because you're saving your credits to do something like that. You're going to let them build up. You say, oh, well, you know what? It's a $10 order. I don't need to use any of my credits for that. I'll save my credits for something else down the road. All right. And you just check out with $10, but you've saved all your credits for the next purchase. In the meantime, I'm going to be doing another video to show you how and where you can get credit and build credits up like I do so that you can say, okay, I'm going to use more of my credits, right? So that's it for today. I do not want to tizzy out your heads any more than they probably already are. We've covered a lot. We've covered supply and demand, which is very important. We've also covered different vendors, same item, different colors, doing comparison shopping, how to shop, your budget, what to look for, getting your credits, getting those coupons, how to collect your coupons. We've gone over a lot. And if you have questions and concerns, by all means, please, yes, put a comment down below. Let me know. What are your questions? If I find that people have a lot of common questions, I'll do a response on video. I'll do a Q&A on video and answer everybody's questions because you know what? The question you have, someone else might not have thought to ask that question, but they may have it as well. So please don't be afraid to ask. We do have a lot of videos. More videos coming out. The next video I'm going to do for you guys, and that'll be out in a few more days, is going to be about refunds, credits, returns, whole order refunds, all the different types of things that Temu does for the consumer, all right, as a thank you, as a reward, as an apology, as an appreciation. Basically, they're very customer oriented. And that's one of the things I love dealing with a company that, yes, is Chinese based, is China based. Their customer service, they are driven for customer service and they're all about the customer. All right. So I'm going to try to help you be the best consumer you can be a very savvy consumer, and we'll see where we can get you. And I want to hear your success stories. And I also want to hear the ones that were not so successful. Let's figure this out, all right? So for the time being, I am going to sign off for now because I have a lot more to do. And I am going to wish you happy shopping. Stay cool. Stay inside. Stay hydrated. All right. And above all else, please stay sweet. And I will catch you in a couple of days.